Hello and welcome back to another Q&A session, and today we've got a number of interesting questions, including Cadison, popular Casio update, yes, the good watch just got better, and we've got an update from San Martin about the 6200 Vintage Ghost, very popular watch, so we've got some details about the update and even a picture. And we of course got more generic questions like, am I better off buying on AliExpress or on a company's brand website? And these questions and maybe some more in this Q&A. Customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my holiday watch, my San Martin Vintage Diver. And before we jump to the nitty-gritty of this video, big thank you to you for making comments and asking questions, because they definitely do help to create these episodes, and of course they make me to go and do some additional research and potentially learn something new. So do keep them coming, and of course subscribe so you don't miss the answers. Well, let's get right in. Okay, let's kick off with the easy one, and this one is about the 42mm Cadison Royal Oak Homage that I reviewed not so long ago. Now, the question is from, and I apologize if I mispronounced the name, from Saeed Kahawi. How come they said the 42mm has sapphire crystals? How it went mineral with you? Well spotted, and the answer is very simple. Up until December this year, Cadison actually used mineral glass on that watch. Now, since December this year, they upgraded to sapphire crystal, which is great. Also, what is also good news is that they kept the price pretty much the same, so double whammy there. And judging by the comments in that video, the actual mineral glass was a showstopper for a lot of viewers. Well, I guess it is not a showstopper anymore. Now, before we move on to the next question, a small note here that the 46mm version of that watch still has mineral glass, so something to keep in mind. Next question is about purchasing on AliExpress versus purchasing on individual brand website, and there were a number of viewers who actually asked this similar question, so I'm not going to single anyone out, and the question in general goes like this. Is it better to buy from AliExpress or online standalone website? Well, AliExpress offers discounts and the website does not. Well, the question is more about the price difference than any other considerations. Of course, do your due diligence, and we're not going to go into pros and cons of shopping on AliExpress and shopping on individual websites. That's a slightly bigger subject and probably needs its own video. But if all things being equal and we're only concerned about the price, probably the simplest approach would be, if you are comfortable buying from website or more comfortable buying from website vendor, then the simplest approach would be to approach them and ask to price match the AliExpress price. Now, they might say no or they might say yes. Of course, you'll never know unless you ask the question. However, one thing to keep in mind that the sellers on AliExpress are actually individual sellers as well. The AliExpress on its own doesn't really sell anything, it's a platform, okay? So just because one individual seller has an extremely low price, it doesn't always mean much. There are other things to be considered, things like how many orders this shop already processed, how long you've been on the platform, also the feedback for the shop and the feedback for individual listing of that shop, so all those things to be considered as well. Slightly different angle on this subject, if you like, is that standalone websites and micro brands usually try to engage social media means, like your favorite YouTube channel, for example, to spread the word about their brand or about their products. And in these cases, more often than not, the YouTube reviewer might have some kind of discount codes to share that might just get you the price discount that you're after. Next question is about Steel Dive 1970, which is a homage to Seiko Captain Willett, the review I did of which not so long ago. And the question is from Duran Simon, and the question goes, thank you for great review. Okay, you're welcome. And is there a San Martin alternative for this model? Is it any better? Right, well, the answer is yes, there is a San Martin alternative for this model, and the model number is SN047. I will post the link in the description if you want to check it out. Now, it's not cut and dry kind of answer in terms of is it any better or not, because, well, there are a few things to consider, and let me just run through a few of those. So, for starters, in favor of San Martin, if you like, a couple of things like crystal. The anti-reflective coating on San Martin potentially could be a little bit more expensive because it doesn't have that bluish hue like we can observe on Steel Dive, although for quite a few viewers, including myself, it is not a deal breaker. However, that's something to consider. Number two, potentially a better bezel action, and again, Steel Dive has a really good bezel action, so it is kind of excellent, which is the San Martin bezel action is absolutely brilliant, versus very, very good, and that's a Steel Dive action. And if you compare Steel Dive to any other watches, you'll probably find that their bezel action is pretty good. So again, it's not necessarily kind of cut and dry. The obviously slightly different layout on the dial could be also, if your preference, more deeper colors and stronger colors on San Martin, compare a little bit more subtle and more sort of vintage look of Steel Dive, then again, that becomes a bit of a individual preferences. Now, if we look from a different angle, if we look actually from the positives or strong points of Steel Dive, then, well, number one, of course, it is $90 or on average about $90 cheaper, and sometimes can be even $100 cheaper. So that's number one. Then second one is, of course, it comes with a stainless steel bracelet option, which San Martin at this point doesn't offer. And number three, it of course has a fully lumed bezel. So, as I said, there are a few things to be considered, and it's not an absolutely cut and dry. Now, I do have a San Martin Captain Willett homage. It's in bronze though, but probably that is as close as I can get at the moment to San Martin alternative. I will be posting review of that watch soon, so please subscribe so you don't miss it. Next question is from MV, and here's the question. Hey mate, well, hi. Would you do the review and the instructions of how to use the time grapher? Any recommendations where to get one from AliExpress? Love the Willett, by the way, got mine months ago and still impressed with it. Well, I'm glad that you're impressed with your Steel Dive Captain Willett homage, which is always good. Now, in terms of the video instructions, sounds like a good idea. I might consider doing a short video with instructions how to do it in the future. It's not overly complex, but yeah, a small video might just do. And in regards where to get one on AliExpress, I actually have got mine on AliExpress. I'll post the link in the description. I've got model 1900 as opposed to model 1000 that you probably see mostly on YouTube. Now, the main difference there, I think, is color display, and there are some probably subtle differences, which is very difficult actually to find. But yeah, I'm quite happy with mine, and I paid just under $140 for it, and I paid $27 for shipment to the UK. These guys usually do business-to-business transactions, so they do charge for the shipment. It's very seldom they offer free shipment, and even if they do, usually the price of the shipment into the actual price of the product, so expect to pay more for the product. Of course, if you're in a geographical location where you have access to eBay or Amazon, those are potentially alternatives as well. You can also buy it from eBay or from Amazon. Do expect to pay a little bit more. Yeah, they usually price slightly higher on those platforms. The next question is about this San Martin 6200 vintage diver, about the issue with 4 micro adjustments. Quite a few people asked this question, so I'm not going to single anyone out. And yes, San Martin did come up with a fix, which is great. Now, I posted the update on the community page, so if you're already subscribed, you probably have seen the details of it. They're also willing to ship the bits to the customers, or the parts that are needed for the fix, to the customers that already purchased the watch, which makes perfect sense, of course. And if they haven't been in touch and you did purchase the watch, do give them a nudge. Go to the product page, probably the easiest one. Just go to the product page and there is a chat link. Click on that, and yep, they might ask you some question to confirm the address or whatever. Right, now here is the actual picture of what they fixed, and Saint Martin now published this picture on their product listings and also included some additional details, so do check it out for the latest updates. And looks like they went with a simpler solution. They just replaced the screw on that last link closest to the clasp. Also, by the look of it, that last link does look ever so slightly longer. I'm not quite sure if that's the case. Now, I only obviously will find out as soon as I get the fix. I am, of course, one of those customers who actually got the watch, and I'm also waiting for those parts. And as soon as they arrive, I'll put together a quick video just to show what's involved. Now, if you already do have a fix from Saint Martin, if you actually received those bits and you're watching this video, please let us know in the comments what actually involved. Is it just a screw, or is it a screw in the link, or anything else? So, yeah, do let us know in the comments. So this is all we have time for today. Post your new questions. I'm always happy to answer them and incorporate them in these videos. And of course, like if you find this helpful, and subscribe if you haven't done so. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.